So I haven't done a sit down with you guys for such a long time, and I moved over to London a couple of weeks ago, and I thought that it would be a good chance for us to kind of catch up and for me to tell you guys how I'm doing. So if you guys follow me on Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, that is totally not the actual story. I mean, I think everything is definitely, super fun here. There's a ton of markets, and I've been taking a ton of pictures of that. But the first couple of weeks have actually been like pretty hectic, and it's kind of made me think like, okay, was it a good idea moving here? Would I ever want to be doing this again and whatnot? So basically I moved on November 1st. That was really when the lease and everything started, and I had gotten an apartment set up here before, and somebody had come and looked at it for me. It was in a fairly good location. It was very convenient and whatnot, but upon moving there, it was just like the loudest. It was in the middle of this really busy street, and I realized I couldn't shoot at all over there. And the only bathroom that they had was located inside the bedroom, and I just thought like the layout was weird, everything was weird. Plus, I moved to East London, and I had lived in London for a year before in my year abroad when I was studying here at UCL. So I was in kind of more Western London, a little bit more central. Everything was very orderly and neat and clean and whatnot. And then I moved to Shoreditch, and I think what I was picturing was Shoreditch to be a little bit like Cambridge, like where I was living, or a little bit like Somerville, kind of hip. A little bit funky, a little bit fun. But I think that Shoreditch is like 10 times hipper than Cambridge will ever be. There's everything is like a secret bar or like a really cool cafe, and it's brick and it's industrial, and wall art and really well-known graffiti artists are all over here. And so I think initially, still I'm very much getting used to the area. Like, no doubt, East London and kind of this area, it's where all of the creative people are, like creative studios, shooting studios, the place that I'm doing some work for, like a lot of the vegan stuff are going to be like around this area. So you can kind of, you can picture kind of what type of area it is, and it's super cool and it's super hip. I'm just not sure I'm as hip or I'm as cool. So I'm just really getting used to it. It's definitely different. That being said, London and this area, there is always more to do than I have time for, which was not something I could have said ever in Boston. Like, in Boston, you might look at different events and you might say like, oh, like I can go to this one this month and I can go to something the next month. In London, every day, especially the weekends, there are like 5 different things to do, and they're all, super cool, from like fairs to music festivals to like, it's just everything. There's so much to do here. And I guess sometimes that's, for me, that's a little bit overwhelming as well. I think I'm just overwhelmed with the whole thing. But anyways, like with the apartment, this is actually the second apartment. It's in a quieter location, and definitely the layout is a lot better, so I'll be kind of showing you guys around. There's still no furniture yet, and so I've basically lived my first month in London on the floor, sitting on the floor, getting whatever bowls and plates I managed to bring. I just didn't want to get settled in yet if I knew that I was going to be moving, to different places. And the internet has been absolutely, not great. Had to be working out of, cafes, which was really nice, but the internet was just like crazy slow, and it would take 5-6 hours for me to upload just even like a short recipe video. So there's that. But internet is back, everything is really good now, I think. Let's see, what else? Like, just things to really adjust to. Like, I joked about this one, but if you follow me on my personal Instagram, it's Life as My Stage, but the faucet tabs that they have in London, because a lot of these places are older and they were built in an older style, the cold faucet, the cold tap and the hot tap, they're on different like spouts coming out. And so, like every morning it's really cold right now around this time of the year. You have to go like back and forth between like something that's like super, super hot and burning hot, and then something that's like super, super cold. Like that's so that's like one of the things. It's not a biggie, but I guess like the biggest kind of like adjustment for me really has been this. I mean, I have lights on right now so that it's not crazy dark, but this is not what I remembered when I was, like a little young on shopping on Oxford Street. But, around this time of the year, I know that everywhere gets dark, but specifically London, this is very normal. It's gloomy. It's not just overcast as I had remembered it. Like, it's actually dark. And so I wake up and, sometimes like 7, 8 in the morning, it's dark, 9:30, it's still dark. And so, that really affects your energy levels. Like the sun doesn't come out, if at all. I would say like 1 to 2 days per week that the sun, like yellow sun, actually comes out. And the sun really doesn't come out until like 10, until maybe like 1 or 2, and then it goes back away again. I think it's because of kind of the latitude and where it's located on the map, but it also gets darker here faster than Boston. And even with like the time change, I remember, with the time change, it's about like 4:30, it starts getting dark. Here, 3:45, I feel like it starts getting that way already. And of course, because there's already not a lot of sun, and I haven't seen the sun in a really long time, day in, day out, like every single day, it kind of like wears on you, because I don't know, like you gotta get sad, and then it like gets overwhelming, and of course like I'm in a new place and I'm just like adjusting to everything. So that has been tough. I'm shooting with, I think you guys can probably tell, a lot more artificial light and whatnot, so I'm still kind of trying to hone in on that and get really good at that, just because there's not enough time in the day for me to shoot recipes. It just doesn't work. And this gets dark, it's like 1 o'clock right now. It's gonna get dark in like 2.5 hours, so I don't have much time in that sense. But I do have a lot of projects in play. So I know I had mentioned maybe in the comments somewhere for my Best of Boston, for my like Goodbye Boston video, that I have some projects here in London that I'm trying to do. Hold on. Yes, so there are, some projects that I'm trying to do here in London. I'm really trying to actually push for a cookbook and hopefully kind of finish by, end of the year or January, and then really get that rolling. And of course, I have some opportunities here as well that I definitely don't think I would have gotten in Boston. It's just a more media friendly area. But with that too, I don't know if I talk about this much, but I think I definitely have probably a bit of like an anxiety issue. So basically I have a lot of like stress, or like I would even say borderline fear of when I start new things. Not necessarily like moving or things that I've done before, but like new things in terms of like jobs and whatnot. And I think that a big reason for that is, one, I always want to do well for people. I'm definitely a people pleaser. I've tried to kind of find a happy medium to that. I feel like I have this bad relationship with authority, actually. And so like with teachers, with bosses, I always feel like, oh, I have to, do my best for them, and they're kind of like the be all end all, and they kind of judge like how much I'm worth, or, like, did you do a good job or a bad job? And I take that very, very personally. And it's really to the point where when I got older and, I talked to a lot of my friends about like, oh, like, did you like school? Did you like not? It was really something where I did really well in school, but I'm not sure that I did it did well for the right reasons, or whether it was just like, if I do a bad job, then it's over, like everything's over. And so that has kind of translated into I get really bad anxiety when I start new jobs. And for me, because I freelance a lot, that's not a good thing. Really to the point where sometimes I feel like I haven't pursued an opportunity the way that I had wanted to, because I was afraid of, oh no, what if I can't do it? And that's really stupid, because if somebody told me the same thing, I'd just be like, no, like don't worry about it. You know, like give it your all, do your best, but like don't let that feeling be so debilitating to you that, you know, you let opportunities go. I'm really working on that right now, because I do have a couple of opportunities in play in London. I also know that opportunities like this, like they don't come around that often. Obviously, when you're working in film, when you're working in media, like you're lucky to have a job, or you're lucky that, you know, like companies hire you for certain things. And so for me to know that this is, you know, it's one of those dream jobs, screwing up becomes even more scary. And so I think I'll be updating you guys in terms of like what I'm up to, probably more on the Instagram and the Twitter and whatnot. But I have different things coming up this week, and I get like super nervous, and it's one of those things where like it's borderline like just an unhealthy super nervous. And so I've tried like meditation, I've tried doing different things, and I just want to be able to think about things in a different way, to think about authorities, to think about jobs, to think about what people tell you and how that like affects your mood. That is something that I really want to work on, and you know, to like really try my best. And, you know, at the end of the day, just go try out these different things, and really like don't worry about it. Don't have it be so, you know, so scary that you don't end up doing it, or like you're scared of doing it, or like, I don't know, that you get so stressed out that like you're making a video about it and whatnot. But I know that probably, you know, a lot of you guys can identify as well, and I just, you know, I wanted to share this kind of very crazy and you know, somewhat stressful and defining and whatnot moment with you guys. So yeah, so there's that, there's weather, there's, you know, new jobs starting up, and you know, just like London is such an expensive city, and just moving here, this was my first time not living abroad, but moving abroad permanently. And you know, there were so many things that I threw out, just like pots and pans that I had been collecting. I put certain things in storage, but I didn't want to put too much, and repurchasing everything. I mean, that has been, you know, crazy pants. And so, right, I really feel like I should have put Patreon first, because in order to get to this point, you would have had to watch it this far. So maybe I'll put this back up at the beginning. But Patreon, so I've had this page for a really long time. I haven't like developed it or like put things into it, and the reason is because I knew that a lot of people, they start their Patreon page obviously when they have a larger number of subscribers, and actually we're moving up to 5,000, and it's just been so cool. Anyways, I think most people start it, you know, when they get to like 100,000, 200,000, and I feel like at that point, I don't really think I need a Patreon account, and it's more that I need a Patreon account now. So I'm going to be putting in different options for when people donate and to help out the channel. But, you know, different ideas that I was thinking was definitely recipe suggestions. I know that a lot of you guys comment down below, but maybe for different tiers, you can actually have one of your recipes featured on the channel, and, you know, you guys send me the recipe and I will make it. I was thinking of like different fun things. Like, I feel like emojis are really in, like people emojis, like with like the iPhone and bit emoji and whatnot. So maybe if you guys have an emoji, you know, depending on whatever the donation is, like you can be featured in one of the videos and have your like emoji pop up on the side, and that would be kind of fun. So I'm thinking of ideas right now, but long story short is, I do want to be vlogging a lot more. I do want to be traveling around, you know, London, but around Europe, but also working on my cookbook and really like pushing that out for you guys, because I think I have a lot of really good ideas. Yeah, like it's really crazy how much support that I've gotten from you guys. But I think it's strange Patreon like asking for donations and for support, but it would definitely make a big difference any support that you guys can. And of course, not everybody can, and that's totally okay too. Just continue, commenting and giving me recipe suggestions, and I love seeing each and every comment. Like, you guys know, I basically respond to like 99.9% of it. It definitely helps with me being homesick and whatnot, is to have you guys. So yeah, so that is my horrible kind of Patreon push. I will be developing the site. You guys will be seeing it a lot more, but if you guys have suggestions on what I can do for like the different tiers of support and of donation, definitely let me know. I think that the two ideas that I've come up with are kind of neat. So thank you guys so much for already being such constant supporters, and for subscribing to the channel and watching the channel, and always giving me really good feedback. I really really appreciate it. Okay, so anyways, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.